The top stories tonight in Y News. A defense analyst says the support of the international community for the Philippines regarding the issue in the West Philippine Sea is not wasted. The Department of Foreign Affairs, or DFA, summons Chinese embassy official over the recent water cannon incident in Bajo de Masinloc. Several senators urge President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. to certify as urgent proposed 100 peso legislated minimum wage hike. And we will discover why the United States of America accused Russia of violating chemical weapons ban during its conflict with Ukraine. Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Thursday, the 2nd of May, 2024. Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the Philippines and in other parts of the world. We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media channels. I am Harney Delgado. First in the news. Amid continuous tensions in the West Philippine Sea, the Philippine government will not abandon its ongoing dialogue with China to resolve the issue in the region. According to an expert, the Philippines also benefits from expressing support from other countries against China's continued bullying in the West Philippine Sea. Nelma Buhok reports.
The support of the international community for the Philippines regarding the issue in the West Philippine Sea is not wasted. According to defense analyst Professor Renato De Castro, the visits of leaders from other countries and participation in joint military exercises such as Balikatan help to strengthen the position of the Philippines in the region.
In a way, this is also strengthening our position in the West Philippine Sea. Of course, also invigorating our efforts to create an international coalition that will uphold the Arbitral Tribunal Award.
In addition to the United States and Japan, the European Union, United Kingdom, Germany, France, Australia, and Canada have also called on Beijing to comply with international law and cease aggressive actions in the South China Sea. According to National Security Council Assistant Director General Jonathan Malaya, the Philippines will continue its efforts to resolve the issue in the West Philippine Sea through peaceful means.
At the end of the day, it's about the welfare of the Filipino people. So there are mechanisms in place, and we should always not close the door to diplomatic engagement.
ADG Malaya added that the government still hopes that through diplomacy, Beijing's actions in the region can be changed. Nel Maribuhok, UNTV News and Rescue, we serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Philippines has protested the recent water cannon incident by Chinese vessels in the Bajo de Masinloc, also known as Scarborough Shoal. In a statement, Department of Foreign Affairs, or DFA, spokesperson Maria Teresita Daza says the agency summoned today, May 2, Chinese Embassy of Manila Deputy Chief of Mission Zhao Zhiyong over the harassment made by the China Coast Guard and Chinese maritime militia vessels against the vessels of the Philippine Coast Guard and the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources while conducting a routine and regular humanitarian mission. The DFA stresses that China's aggressive actions, notably the use of water cannon, caused damage to the Philippine vessels. It adds the Philippines demanded that Chinese vessels leave Bajo de Masinloc and its vicinity immediately. For this year, the country has lodged 20 diplomatic protests against China, while a total of 153 protests have been filed under the Marcos administration. Philippine Coast Guard Commandant CG Admiral Ronnie Hilgavan has ordered an urgent assessment following an unsettling incident involving the 44-meter multi-role response vessel BRP Bagacay, or MRRV 4410. The vessel found itself amidst a water cannon confrontation while en route to Bajo de Masinloc in the West Philippine Sea on April 30, 2024. The National Task Force for the West Philippine Sea reported that the China Coast Guard and Chinese maritime militia vessels engaged in aggressive maneuvers, including harassment, obstruction, and the deployment of water cannons against PCG and BFAR vessels during a humanitarian mission to assist Filipino fishing boats in the area. Confirming the incident, PCG spokesperson Rear Admiral Armando Balilo stated that BRP Bagacay sustained damage to its superstructure, the main area of the ship. He assured that the Coast Guard fleet is diligently evaluating the extent of the damage to determine necessary repairs while ensuring the crew receives thorough medical evaluations to safeguard their well-being. Rear Admiral Balilo emphasized the commitment of PCG personnel, highlighting their dedication to their duty despite the inherent risks. He underscored the command's responsibility to cater to their needs while executing the PCG's mandated functions. In alignment with President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s directive, the PCG, in solidarity with the National Task Force for the West Philippine Sea, reaffirmed its commitment to uphold sovereignty over the country's exclusive economic zones, including Navarro de Masinloc, through peaceful and responsible actions. The Armed Forces of the Philippines, or AFP, revealed that they have no information at present on the location of the Chinese research vessel Shen Kuo that dropped an unidentified equipment east of Catanduanes. Furthermore, they noted that the vessel has disabled its automatic identification system, or AIS, adding another layer of complexity to tracking its movements. Dante Amento tells us why.
The Philippine Air Force is conducting maritime patrol through its air assets to determine the present location of the Chinese research vessel Shen Kuo. The vessel was monitored dropping unidentified maritime research equipment east of Catanduanes, believed to be part of a maritime research. Armed Forces of the Philippines, or AFP spokesperson Colonel Francel Margaret Padilla said the vessel deactivated its automatic identification system, or AIS. An AIS transmits a ship's location or position. Padilla explained perhaps it wants to avoid detection.
It says two things, no? Either talagang ayaw nila mag-engage or either it's actually a vessel in distress.
The Philippine Navy meanwhile disclosed it has allegedly out of the country's territory.
As of this morning, Shen Kuo was monitored to have left the area of responsibility of Visayas Command. Kalabas na yun. Nakalabas na sa Pilipinas.
However, the AFP would want to assure where is the vessel. Shen Kuo was monitored with erratic movement while off Philippine waters.
Visuals na lang talaga yung how we would be monitoring its movement. Kaya yung sa maritime patrols na nagbibigay ng reports sa status ng location niya and activities.
Dante Amento, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
Several lawmakers call on President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. to consider the proposed 100 peso legislated minimum wage hike and certify it as urgent. This as they welcome the order of the president to regional wage boards to review their minimum wage rates due to the effects of inflation to Filipino workers. Senate President Juan Miguel Bigzubiri says Senate Bill 2534, or the 100 peso daily minimum wage increase act, once approved, will be a massive step toward giving workers living wages that they deserve. For the Senate leader, the president can certify the measure as urgent given the soaring prices of goods and services. Senator Francis Cheese Escudero also hopes President Marcos Jr. will certify the Senate bill as urgent so the House of Representatives can approve it as well. Senate Minority Leader Aquilino Coco Pimentel believes while it is a good move to review the regional minimum wage rates, it is better to legislate a new nationwide minimum wage amount. The proposed bill was approved in the Senate in February, while remains pending in the committee level in the lower chamber.
And for the news abroad. The United States has accused Russia of breaching the international chemical weapons ban during its conflict with Ukraine. According to a State Department statement, Russian forces have used chlorpacrin, a prohibited choking agent, and riot control substances as warfare methods against Ukrainian troops. These actions reportedly aim to displace Ukrainian forces and secure battlefield advantages. Chlorpacrin is recognized by the Hague-based Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, or OPCW, as a banned substance under the 1993 Chemical Weapons Convention, or CWC, which both Russia and the US have ratified. The OPCW monitors compliance with this convention, established after chemical weapons were first used in World War I. Recent reports indicate that Russia has intensified its use of riot-controlled gases such as CS and CN gases in eastern Ukraine, leading to at least 500 Ukrainian soldiers receiving medical treatment for exposure and one death due to suffocation from tear gas. In response, the US has sanctioned 3 Russian state entities and 4 companies linked to Russia's chemical and biological weapons programs. These sanctions involve freezing US assets and prohibiting business with these entities. Additionally, the US Treasury has sanctioned other entities and individuals associated with Russia's military acquisitions. The State Department will inform the OPCW of its findings, although the OPCW has not yet initiated a formal investigation into these allegations. Both Russia and Ukraine have previously accused each other of violating the CWC and OPCW meetings. Hundreds of law enforcement officers mobilized on the University of California, Los Angeles campus to clear out a pro-Palestinian protest camp. Ruth Bahe tells us why.
The police officers at the University of California, Los Angeles on Wednesday, May 1, ordered pro-Palestinian protesters to leave their encampment after a night of violent clashes between pro-Palestinian and pro-Israel supporters at the site. Protesters at the camp braced for the police raid, donning protective gear like hard hats, goggles, and respirator masks. Hundreds of other pro-Palestinian activists outside the camp have been chanting and demonstrating as the police move in. UCLA had canceled classes due to the previous night's violence between the protesters and counter-protesters. This follows a similar crackdown by police in New York City, where about 300 pro-Palestinian activists were arrested at Columbia University and the City College of New York and were charged with trespassing and criminal mischief. This campus protests are part of the biggest student activism in the United States since the 2020 anti-racism rallies. In recent days, students at numerous colleges and universities across the U.S. have organized protests against Israel's action in Gaza. The students are demanding the universities withdraw from companies supporting Israel's government. In response, many universities have brought police to attempt and put an end to the students' protest. Ruth Bahe, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
We'll share more global stories with you later, but for now, back to you, Herlene.
Thank you, Joselito. For those watching our live streaming on YouTube, please click the subscribe button you see on your screen and ring the bell for notification. You may also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. On May 3, 2024, motorcycles heading towards EDSA Kamuning southbound will be rerouted to an alternative route. This is due to the partial closure of the EDSA Kamuning flyover southbound for repairs. Rosalie Cos will tell us why.
Motorists were caught in heavy traffic on the southbound lane of the EDSA Kamuning Service Road this morning, May 2. This is because the EDSA Kamuning flyover southbound is closed to motorists and only EDSA carousel buses are allowed to use the left side of the bridge.
Malaking abala. Malalig po sa Agaan ko na lang siguro pumasok.
Hindi ko po alam. Ngayon ko lang po nalaman na gagawin pala to. Iibahin ko na po yung ruta ko.
Repair work in the flyover has begun and will last for 5 months until October 1, 2024. According to the Department of Public Works and Highways, or DPWH, the bridge has cracked, so it will be repaired and strengthened against disasters such as earthquakes. Even though the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority, or MMDA, has recommended alternative routes. Motorists are still congesting the southbound lane of the EDSA Kamuning Service Road. To reduce traffic congestion, starting tomorrow, May 3, motorcycle riders will be stopped and rerouted to right-turning roads before the EDSA Kamuning area, such as Panay Avenue, Scout Albano, and Scout Borromeo. MMDA clarified that they will not issue tickets or impose fines but will instead guide motorists.
Starting tomorrow, hindi na po sila papapasukin sa service road. Lahat po sila ay pakakananin. Kailangan po talagang paghati-hatian kaysa naman po magsiksikan lahat yan dito sa service road. Kung pwede, mas marami sa kanila ang kumana na at huwag magsiksikan dito sa service road. Kasi tandaan natin yung service road may stoplight po eh. So talagang tutukod at tutukod pagdating po dito sa service road.
Other motorists are also encouraged to use the alternative routes on the Mabuhay lanes. According to MMDA's estimate, 23,000 motorcycle riders pass through the area every day. Meanwhile, 24,000 are four-wheel vehicles.
Yun yung dahilan din na nagpapaskip yung mga pasingit-singit na mga motorista.
Opo, handa naman kami sumunod. Sa tingin ko po, mas magagastusan po kami sa oras at sa gasolina po. Kasi mas mahaba po yung tatahakin ng daan namin kapag sa alternative route po kami duman. Sa EDSA po kasi dire-diretso na dapat yun eh.
Dapat ang hindi nila padaanin doon yung mga four wheels. So, kasi yung motor, unang-una, magaan lang naman yung motor eh.
According to MMDA, they are also considering rerouting the EDSA carousel buses to the EDSA Kamuning southbound service road starting at 11 p.m. or midnight. This is to expedite the repair work. Meanwhile, repairs on the EDSA Kamuning flyover southbound will be conducted 24 hours every day. The repairs will cost 142 million pesos according to DPWH.
Ang kailangan po kasi dito, manual po ang gagawin natin pag-demolish doon sa ating slab. Mas makaka-traffic po lalo na at pinadadaanan natin na hindi naman po tayo full closure. Bali partial closure lang po at kapag po kasi heavy equipment yung gagamitin natin ay medyo makakaapekto rin po sa ating ginagawa.
The contractor for the flyover repair will employ 3 shifts of workers. The EDSA Kamuning flyover southbound is one of 14 bridges that require repair. The local government personnel will help manage traffic flow on the alternative routes. In addition to extra traffic enforcers, more signage will be installed to guide motorists. Rosa Licoz, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
A revised work schedule for its employees has been implemented by the Metro Manila Council in an effort to alleviate traffic congestion in the National Capital Region. With this implementation, some local government employees find it more comfortable compared to their old office hours. Jed Neresina details why.
From the previous 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. work schedule of local government unit employees, it has been adjusted to 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. The adjusted working hours was first proposed by the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority or MMDA and have been adopted by the LGUs to ease traffic on main roads during rush hours. With this implementation, it gives more rest hours and less traffic stress for government employee Armando Olieros, a maintenance worker at Quezon Memorial Circle.
Maaga ka nakakapagpahinga. Hindi ka na i-stress doon sa traffic pagdating tapos sabay-sabay pang mag-uuwi ang karamihan. Nahihirapan ka pa sa makay.
As for Jeneline Briones, who traveled almost 1.5 hours to work every day, just arrived earlier less than an hour due to less traffic.
Mas maganda ngayon sa amin kasi kapag pumasok ka na ng mga 6:30, usually sa Commonwealth pa lang traffic na. So dumarating dito, parang instead na mga 35 minutes lang yung travel ko, nagiging 1 hour 1 hour and 30 minutes, mga ganun. So ngayon, umalis ako ng bahay, mga 5:40, nandito na ako before mag 6:30. So mas lessen yung traffic kapag mas maaga pumapasok.
Lourdes Calomarde, who is from Bulacan, can still do a little housework before going to work.
Basta yung from 2 hours na biyahe, nagiging 1 oras na lang. Ganon. Basta mas maano dito sa kalsada, mas maluwag. Siyempre, pag mas maaga, nakakagawa pa ng ibang gawain sa bahay, kagaya ng paglilinis, makakaluto ng maaga para sa pamilya.
According to the Civil Service Commission, the implementation of the modified working schedule is from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. for officers and employees in LGUs are in accordance with the policy on flexible work arrangements issued by CSC for government agencies and employees throughout the country. Jed Neresina, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
3 high-ranking officials have been reassigned, including the director of the Criminal Investigation and Detection Group. Police Major General Romeo Karamat Jr., former CIDG director, has been transferred to the Area Police Command Northern Luzon, where he could potentially be promoted to a 3-star general. He has been replaced by Police Major General Leo Francisco from the Directorate for Investigation and Detective Management, or DIDM. Meanwhile, Police Brigadier General Matthew Bagacay, formerly the Deputy Director of the Directorate for Personnel and Records Management, has been placed in the DIDM, where he could potentially be promoted to a 2-star general. This reshuffle is effective as of today, May 2, 2024. The leadership of the Philippine National Police, or PNP, has temporarily halted the implementation of the tattoo removal policy for police officers. The PNP issued a moratorium on Memorandum Circular 2024-023, or the PNP regulations on bearing and/or sporting tattoos, while they deliberate on the process of tattoo removal for police personnel. According to PNP Public Information Office Chief Police Colonel Jean Fajardo, PNP Chief Police General Romel Francisco Marbil decided to pause the implementation following a review of the directive.
Na-explain po ito, na ipaliwanag po ito no less than ng ating Chief PNP na to a certain degree po ang mga kapulisan po ay may kailangang i-maintain po na mga disiplina, mga code of conduct and norms po different from the other government employees. Pinapa-review po ng ating Chief PNP yung implementation po with respect po doon sa pagpapaalis po, particularly ng mga visible tattoos po na kapag naka-uniforme po yung mga pulis po natin ay kita po yung kanilang mga tattoos.
Also suspended temporarily are the administrative penalties that police officers may face for non-compliance with the policy. However, the policy regarding the non-acceptance of applicants with tattoos remains in effect. Aside from deliberating on the tattoo removal process, the PNP leadership also considered the medical and health concerns of police officers in issuing the moratorium.
Na ito pong pagpalalagay po ng tattoo ay kailangan po nating i-regulate. Kasi nung what is clear from the start po, even na way back pa po nung ma-create po at ma-establish po yung PNP, bawal po talaga yung tattoo sa mga papasok. Sakaling i-erase na po yung kanilang mga tattoos na especially for those who has lingering illness po, baka it may create a health concern, particularly kung for example po kung ikaw ay diabetic, alam po natin pag ikaw ay diabetic ay matagal po nag-heal yung mga sugat. So kapag ito po ay in-erase, this will entail long period of time para mag-heal po yung mga sugat.
Starting April 20, the PNP began documenting the tattoos of police officers, including the number, image, size, and location on their bodies.
And in other global news, United States President Joe Biden approves more than $6.1 billion in student relief for nearly 317,000 Art Institute enrollees. Olga Chilyan tells us why.
On the first day of May, United States President Joe Biden announced the approval of more than $6.1 billion in student loan debt relief for nearly 317,000 students. This only covers those who were enrolled at any Art Institute campus from January 2004 until October 2017. The Art Institutes was a private for-profit chain of schools which operated branches in cities including Atlanta, Fort Worth, New York, and Tampa. In September last year, They were shut down permanently amid fraud allegations, impacting 1,700 students and costing them $95.5 million for settlement with federal regulators. According to the Department of Education, they found that the Arts Institutes and its parent company, Education Management Corporation, had misrepresented its graduates' employment rates and salaries, such as falsely claiming that 80% of its students secured jobs in their field of study within 6 months of graduation. The Education Department refuted this, saying the real figure never rose above 57%. This latest effort brings the total amount of student loan debt relief set in place by the Biden administration to almost $160 billion for nearly 4.6 million student borrowers. Biden continues on his plan to tackle the country's $1.7 trillion in student debt after his plan for broad-based college loan forgiveness was blocked by the Supreme Court last year. In responding to calls for the White House to address student loan debt, Biden also hopes to garner support for the Democrats from progressive voters against Republican contender Donald Trump in the upcoming election this November. Paul Gatchalian, UNTV News to Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
Tragedy struck on Wednesday, May 1st, as 36 individuals lost their lives following the collapse of a section of the highway in Guangdong Province, China. The highway collapse was a result of continuous and heavy rainfall over the past week. This relentless downpour led to flooding and landslides in various parts of the province. More than a dozen airports were forced to shut down due to the volcanic eruption in Indonesia. Officials reported that ash from the volcano reached Malaysia. Authorities scrambled to evacuate thousands of residents amid fears of possible tsunami. Mount Ruang erupted 3 times on Tuesday, April 30th. And those are the reasons behind the news in other parts of the globe.
Model Denise Cornejo, along with businessmen Cedric Lee, Ferdinand Guerrero, and Simeon Raz, have been found guilty of serious illegal detention for ransom by the Taguig Regional Court, Branch 153. This case was filed by actor Vong Navarro. The court sentenced them to reclusión perpetua or life imprisonment. Additionally, each of them was ordered to pay Navarro a total of 300,000 pesos. Navarro accused the defendants of illegal detention back in January 2014. Initially, Cornejo filed a case against Navarro for rape, but the court acquitted him of these charges. Our Kasangbahay, as the world faces these trying times amid the various challenges and uncertainties, we are inviting everyone to join the global prayer for humanity.
Good day. I'm Brother Eli Soriano of the members of the Church of God International. I want to invite you to join us in a minute of prayer every day to pray for humanity and the whole world as we go through these perilous times. While safety measures like washing of hands and strengthening of our immune systems may help us through this horrible predicament, there is still no precaution or cure more powerful than God's mighty intervention. And we need His intervention now more than ever. It doesn't matter what religion you are in or what denomination you belong. This is an invitation for all the people around the world who cares for the future of their family, friends, loved ones, and humanity as a whole. Everybody is welcome to pray with us. For more details, you can check out the description box below. Thank you very much, and I hope to hear from you soon. May God bless you.
Before we close, we will leave you with a word, giving glory to God. From the book of Psalms, chapter 119, verse 172, it says, "My tongue shall speak of thy word, for all thy commandments are righteousness." And those are the reasons behind the news May 2, 2024. Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold. Because we need to know. We will always ask why. I'm Hardin Delgado. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
In a way, this is also strengthening our position in the West Philippine Sea, of course also invigorating our efforts to create an international coalition that will uphold the Arbitral Tribunal Award.
At the end of the day, it's about the welfare of the Filipino people. So there are mechanisms in place and we should always not close the door to diplomatic engagement.
It says two things, no? Either talagang ayaw nila mag-engage or either it's actually a vessel in distress.
As of this morning, Shen Kuo was monitored to have left the area of responsibility of Visayas Command. Nakalabas na yun. Nakalabas na sa Pilipinas.
Visuals na lang talaga yung how we would be monitoring its movement. Kaya yung sa maritime patrols na yung nagbibigay ng reports sa status ng location niya and activities.
Starting tomorrow, hindi na po sila papapasukin sa service road. Lahat po sila ay pakakananin. Kailangan po talagang paghati-hatiin kaysa naman po magsiksikan lahat yan dito sa service road. Kung pwede, mas marami sa kanila ang kumana na at huwag magsiksikan dito sa service road. Kasi tandaan natin yung service road may stoplight po eh. So talagang tutukod at tutukod pagdating po dito sa service road.
Ang kailangan po kasi dito, manual po ang gagawin natin pag-demolish doon sa ating slab. Mas makaka-traffic po lalo na at pinadadaanan natin na hindi naman po tayo full closure, bali partial closure lang po. At kapag po kasi heavy equipment yung gagamitin natin ay medyo makaka-apekto rin po sa ating ginagawa.
Maaga ka nakakapagpahinga. Hindi ka na i-stress doon sa traffic pagdating tapos sabay-sabay pang mag-uuwi ang karamihan. Nahihirapan ka pa sumakay.
Mas maganda ngayon sa amin kasi kapag pumasok ka na ng mga 6:30, usually sa Commonwealth pa lang traffic na. So dumarating dito parang instead na mga 35 minutes lang yung travel ko, nagiging 1 hour 1 hour and 30 minutes mga ganun. So ngayon, umalis ako ng bahay, mga 5:40 nandito na ako before mag 6:30. So mas lessen yung traffic kapag mas maaga pumapasok.